One of the things that frustrate me about this news story is how it is reported, especially by foreign news outlets. They either call it a farmer-herder conflict.
Now, the region has a history of conflict between cattle herders and farmers.
Often between Muslim Fulani herders and mostly Christian farmers.
Between Muslim Fulani herders and mostly Christian farmers.
Or a land dispute issue.
A struggle mainly rooted in land ownership and access to farmland.
Land disputes, they are prone to descend into deadly violence.
Land disputes prone to descend into deadly violence in the Plateau state.
Or they link it to climate change.
Climate change has made the situation worse. Drought and desertification have pushed herders further south.
As Africa's most populous country has continued to grow, so has the amount of land that farmers use.
While grazing routes have come under stress from climate change.
All these statements are euphemisms that don't cover the true picture of what's happening in Plateau State, Nigeria. This is not a farmer-herder conflict because it doesn't fit the pattern of how farmer-herder conflicts occur in Nigeria. There's usually a pre-existing dispute. The farmers may offend the herders by killing their livestock, or the herders may offend farmers by leading their livestock to graze on the farmer's farm. Then a conflict ensues. But that's not the case here. This was completely unprovoked and a random attack without a pre-existing dispute.
We will have to stop pretending that it is harder farmers' clashes.
This is also not a land dispute issue. Yes, land grabbing is happening in this region. These terrorists now control some areas in the state. However, land disputes often involve two neighboring communities claiming land rights and alleging that it is their ancestral property. That's not the case here. The attackers clearly have no claim to any land in this region and are not natives to this region.
What is happening in Plateau State is not communal clash. There is nothing like farmers-herders clash in what has just happened.
This is not about climate change either. Nigeria doesn't have a growing population that its land mass can't accommodate. Those claiming otherwise do so baselessly, another lazy way to make sense of a dispute that they have no interest in understanding. This is the accurate description of what's happening in this region.
The governor is saying that this is a clear case of genocide and land grabbing. He said the timing is always the same, that these terrorists and criminals always come around the time to plant and kick these communities out so that they are unable to farm during the farming season.
You only get this description from local media, and they won't even go further to explain the ideology of these terror groups. They won't mention that this is a 14th century long practice instituted by a degenerate 7th century caravan robber. He told followers of his death cult, now masquerading as a peaceful religion, to fight Christians until they have been subdued. He also commanded his followers to commit their lives to killing and being killed as a pathway to an eternity of deflowering virgins. They are to fight pagans wherever they are found and should lie in wait for them, ambush them and slaughter them. Luckily, I found one news outlet willing to call a spade, and oddly enough, it is a foreign news outlet.
What happened on October the 7th, that happens again every week, whether it's in Nigeria, places like Sudan, places like Algeria, and often it is dismissed within the Western media as land disputes, of course, those types of things, but it's really a religious war at its root.
But beside this elephant